Hello friends, Stephen Talbot here, and today is, you guessed it, December 31st, 2017, and I just wanted to step outside real quick just to sort of show you. You can probably hear the sound checks and stuff going on. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to try to show you right now. Okay, if you look over here, right there, okay, there's a tower over here that they've erected for the Music Note drop. And there are a bunch of tents and stuff over here, like, you know, the entire city basically comes down here for New Year's Eve, and it is going to be insane. And as you can tell, this is my house, and this is the craziness. So you can actually watch the fireworks, and we have this little, I've showed you guys this before. Actually, it's a better view from up here. I actually had VIP passes for the New Year's Eve event tonight. Unfortunately, they were in my aunt's name, and she's really sick, and that's okay. You know, sometimes things don't always work out like we plan, but she's really sick, and she said I am more than welcome to go and try to pick up the passes myself, but I'm pretty sure they're going to check for ID. Maybe I should go do that. Just hell, might as well, right? Otherwise, of course, the event is free, so anybody's more than welcome to go, but it'd be kind of cool to have VIP passes, and I don't even know what that entails, but I don't know, it might be worth checking out. So anyway, I hope you guys have awesome New Year's Eve plans yourself. I think that I'll probably be watching from the sidelines unless I get the VIP passes. I might go try to do that. And kind of it sucks a little bit because actually let me stay out here. I like the sunlight. It kind of sucks. I had some plans with some friends. I was gonna give them the VIP experience with those passes, or me and my aunt were, and that didn't quite work out. So hopefully those friends that were affected by the change of plans, hopefully they still have a happy New Year's Eve as well. I'm speaking mainly to Mario and to Marcus and to my nephew who's going to go as well. It still is a free event, so like I said, y'all hear that? It's crazy. I can actually smell like the street vendors and stuff. It's freezing, and it's going to be freezing out here tonight for sure. I think it's supposed to be like 9 degrees. Anyway, so let me get into the nuts and bolts of today's video. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is I know I've talked to you before about jotting down your successes. Let me get some lights on because the lighting in here is not that great. Okay. I know I've talked to you guys before about the importance of setting goals for 2018 to set yourself up for success and to make sure that you have the best 2018 that you could possibly have. And one of those things I think that's important for us to do is to, and this is, most of my content's not original in the sense that, I'm not like the mastermind behind any of these tips that I provide. These are things that I've learned in my life along the way, or in other YouTube videos, or on podcasts, or by reading books, or whatever, or from other people that I know. So anyway, one of those things is to write. I think it's important to write down your successes for 2017. And so I'm going to call this video, my year in review. And I guess I'm just going to walk you through what I identified as successes, and also walk you through my commitments for 2018. And in a general sense, I've already done this more in depth, but just for purposes of this video, I sort of jotted down the generalizations of everything. Like I've talked about before, I think it's important to have SMART goals, which are specific, measurable, attainable. Can never remember the R, and time bound. So in other words, you want to say, I will work out 5 days a week for at least 30 minutes per day, versus I'm going to start exercising. Or I am going to juice 6 days a week, or I'm going to, have 1,500 calories a day, less than 25 carbs, whatever the case may be. It's important to set specific goals that you can measure. So I do have that, but I won't bore you with all those granular details. But I did want to share with you, why I identified, and again, these videos are for me as well. So I wanted to share with you what I identified as my 2017 successes. And what's interesting about doing this exercise, for me anyway, was the fact that I honestly, at first thought, I didn't think I had that many successes in 2017. And once I wrote down one or two of them, I realized that I have had quite the year. Has this year had challenges? Have there been, life life events and things that had affected my life in a big way that were not necessarily positive. Absolutely. I went through a major breakup. Well, it really wasn't on a breakup. We've been, my partner and I finally got my house, I finally was able to live by myself, basically. We have actually been broken up. I don't think I've shared this on YouTube before, but my ex-partner and I had not had sex in 3 years. 3 years. We didn't even sleep in the same bed for the past 3 years. So the relationship has been over for a long time, is what I'm trying to say. It's just that I wasn't in a place to take a stand or to make the necessary changes or to put my foot down and to take my life back. If that makes sense. I wasn't in a place to be able to say, look, you have to move on. We're splitting up. You have to go your way. I'm going mine. Sometimes things are just comfortable, and the word comfortable itself sounds sort of pleasant, but one of the worst places that you can be at in your life is comfortable. I don't think you're ever growing unless you're outside of your comfort zone. And I've done other videos on that. You guys are more than welcome to check those out. Just go back and check out. Actually, there's a video titled Getting Outside of Your Comfort Zone where I talked more about that. But I'm sure you've heard it all before. You've heard that before. Anyway, I digress. Let me move on to my successes for 2017. So the first big one for me was just what I was alluding to, and that is that I ended a bad relationship. Bad, not that he was bad or I was bad. There's no blame game going on here. I'm just saying, in general, it wasn't moving me forward or moving me where I wanted to go, or it wasn't where I wanted to be. And so that was a huge, I just realized I'm zoomed in. That was a huge milestone for me. And gosh, my life has changed tenfold since I was able to end that bad relationship. So that is a huge success for me. I stopped drinking excessively. I stopped partying. I stopped smoking, stopped vaping. Well, I had stopped smoking the year before, but when I stopped smoking in November of I think I stopped smoking in November of 2015. Yeah. And then I started, Yes, right? I think 2015. It might have been 2016. I can't remember. I think it was 2015. And then I started vaping. Well, I also gave up vaping this year. So that was huge too, right? I mean, they say vaping is much safer than cigarettes, and I have no doubt that it is. But it's still not something I don't want to. It's already bad enough that we as humans consume. We have to consume food, obviously, to remain alive. But the things that are unnecessary to consume, it's just a waste of money. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for our bodies in most cases. Vaping, whether it's cigarettes, vaping, alcohol, or whatever, it's not, all of the empty calories that we eat as humans, all of that stuff is really a big waste, and it makes no sense. So if we can cut it out, that's a win in my book. So stopped vaping. I reconnected with positive friends and family, and really, I reconnected with positivity in general. I've always been a positive person, and I would venture to say that 100% of everyone that I know would say that I'm a very positive and happy person. I would say in the past couple of years, more on the outside, less on the inside. So I reconnected with the positivity in myself. If that makes sense, we all have what's really going on inside of our minds, inside of our heads, inside of our hearts, and then we have what we portray to others. And we try to live authentic lives, but come on now. I mean, we all portray things. Facebook is a prime example of this. Most people on Facebook only share what's positive, including myself. I was sick last week and I shared that, but if I got really depressed, I don't think I'd go on Facebook and share that. And maybe you would, and more power to you. It's not necessarily about not being real. It's more, for me anyway, it's about not being negative, not being pessimistic, and just trying to be positive in all aspects of my life. So anyway, so I reconnected with the positivity of myself, and I really just I don't know. I just, in the past year, I have just really done a complete 360 degrees in the way that I feel about myself, my confidence, the people that I hang around, the things that I do on a daily basis, so included in that positivity, I guess, would be I started walking, which then turned into jogging, which turned into exercising, which turned, juicing. I started hiking, meditating, all of that stuff I haven't done in years, and I started doing all of that stuff just in the past 12 months. If I looked 365 days ago today, I was a completely different person than I am now today. And I think that in 365 days from now, I think that I will be a completely different person again. I think that 12 months is plenty of time to completely overhaul your life. And I hope that if you are in a place in your life that, maybe you could tweak it, or maybe some changes would do you really good, I hope that you can use this video as inspiration, and I hope that you can have the courage to make the changes, do what you want to do, but, we can all improve. Nobody's perfect. And I think that, for me anyway, I always want to be improving. And I think over the past several years, I think that my life was sort of stagnant, and my life was just, I was sort of like in a comfort zone, and I really wasn't going up or going down, and I was just kind of like, just sort of, floating. I was just floating. And, I want to be living. So in 2018, that's my biggest goal. I'm going to live. And I'll get to my 2018 things in a second. So the other things that I did that were big successes for me, and things that I'd wanted to do for a long time, was I started blogging daily. I started doing a daily journal. I started meditating every day. I started doing daily vlog videos, or not daily, but on average 5 days a week or so. These are all things that I've wanted to do for a long time that I wasn't confident enough to start doing, and I wasn't sure of myself or confident enough in myself to put myself out there like I am now. And that's a big accomplishment for me. And making small steps and putting myself out there like this helped me. It's kind of funny. It's like, you can't really, they say it's easier to focus on one thing than a lot. Like, you don't want to multitask your life, I guess. But the reality for me is that every little thing that you do that's change in a positive way builds momentum for you to accomplish more and more things. So it's not like, it doesn't make sense for me to focus on only one aspect of my wellness, for example. It doesn't make sense for me to focus only on eating green vegetables and not exercising. It doesn't make sense for me to meditate and not eat right. It doesn't make sense for me to jog and not meditate. And I think each person has to find their own groove. Maybe meditation is not the thing for you. Maybe it's like prayer in church or something, and that's fine. I just think that for me, I've sort of found an equilibrium, or I've found even as far as my morning ritual that I've talked to you guys about before, getting up at a certain time and doing XYZ, writing my journal, meditating, showering, in my shower with cold water, all those things that I've talked to you guys about before. It just, I don't know. This year I feel like I found my groove, and this groove, not to say that I want to get super comfortable with my groove, with my daily routine or whatever. I want to always challenge myself, and I want to always, improve upon it. But I don't know. For the first time in a long time, I just feel alive, and I feel great. I just feel overall, I feel awesome. And so those were my 2017 successes. With that, I'll move on to my 2018 commitments. It's quite a long list. I won't go over all of them. But for example, I'm going to meditate at least 5 days a week for at least 15 minutes each time. I want to work on meeting new people and building new relationships, like as far as networking and stuff like that. I want to join Nashville in Harmony, which I've talked about before. I want to volunteer for something that's important to me or that's close to my heart. I want to travel to at least three new countries. I want to stop biting my fingernails, which I've already done pretty much. I still bite them every now and then, but yeah. If you know me, I would usually chew my nails down to a nub, so not anymore. Wake up at least at or before 6 a.m. every day. I want to start 7 days a week. I want to start my day off right. I want to continue volunteer for cause, continue my daily journaling, continue my daily videos. I want to start a podcast, continue blogging, read at least one book per month, and literally the list goes on and on and on. So I hope that gives you some real world scenarios about maybe the types of things that you could be doing. And it's not too late, even if you don't watch this video until January 15th or February or next July or June or whatever. It doesn't have to be the first of the year to start over sort of a new leaf or to look where you've been to see where you're going. You can do that at any time. And I encourage you, and I encourage myself, and this is a good reminder for me, to always be evaluating yourself and always be looking at your goals and what you've accomplished and what you need to change to become a better person. Otherwise, we get into the mundane, day-to-day routine of life, and things get pretty boring pretty quickly. So we get comfortable and we don't grow as human beings, and I think that's what life is all about, in that, in my personal opinion. So, sorry, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching. I'm absolutely not preaching. I'm just sharing with you. And I got, today I got excited about it. I made my list and I thought, this is what I'm going to talk about on my YouTube video. And I feel I'm passionate about it and it's working for me. And so hopefully this resonates with somebody out there, and hopefully that somebody is you. And hopefully you can start making changes in your own life. Look at where you've been, see where you're going, just jot down some goals. I think it's very important that you write them down, put your pen or your pencil to paper. I think I mentioned this before, but I'm now a new fan. Well, I was in high school as well, but I don't think I've written with a pencil or lead pencil in years and years and years until recently, over the past month or so. And my aunt gave me several of these, and now I buy them all the time. I love them. So get you a lead pencil, man. They're $1 at the dollar store. And, write down a few goals. Look at, even if you feel like you've had a shitty year, which I promise you, I know I've had a crappy year overall at first thought, but then I started thinking, that's sort of pessimistic of me. I've had an awesome freaking year. I've done a complete 360 and I feel really good about where I'm going. So hopefully this video inspires you, motivates you, resonates with you. With that, I'm going to bid you guys farewell. I hope you guys have an awesome new year. Cheers to 2018, to you and your family. Happy holidays, happy new year. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, please take a second to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If you like this video in particular, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, concerns, or if you think I'm cute, let me know in the comments below. And as always, enjoy yourself.